Good morning, welcome to GrainTV. It's June 21st, 2012. I'm Logan Burgess. To my right is Cody Bills. Well, Cody, it's Thursday morning. We've got the export sales report. What are we looking at?
Well, this morning the export sales came in and they were pretty lackluster. Corn came in at 171,000 metric tons in the old crop, 210,000 metric tons in the new crop. Beans, 163,000 in the old crop. That was a marketing year low, so really not that great for beans, but I'm not concerned. I'll explain that a little bit later. 433,000 in the new crop, and then wheat came in with a pretty nice sales number of 842,000 metric tons of wheat sold. So take a look at sales for corn. Really what we've been noticing in the last 7 weeks is just very dismal sales, very ugly, coming in well below our expectations for the pace that's needed to meet USDA expectations. If you look at the last week, we declined another 10 million bushels here. So really not good for corn. If you look at beans, even though it was a marketing year low, we are still 42 million bushels ahead of pace to meet USDA forecasts. As a result of that bar right there, you can see here the yellow line is what we would expect to see for sales each week, taking into account the seasonality of sales, and this taking into account the averages over the years. And what you can see here is as you get toward the end of the year, you really don't have a whole lot of sales that are expected. So when we get sales like this week, even though they're marketing year lows, it doesn't cause a lot of concern because we're so far ahead of pace, and we still have a chance to outperform in the last 10-15 weeks of the marketing year.
All right, absolutely. Well, it looks like here that the export sales really aren't supporting grains that much this morning. Let's hop into fire tip here and see how the trades are acting. The pits have been open here for about 20 minutes now. We're looking at old crop corn down 2.5 here. Old crop beans up 4 3/4, and wheat actually relative strength out of that wheat complex here this morning. Chicago wheat up 10 1/4. Kansas City wheat also trading up 10 1/4. Kind of interesting, kind of a mixed trade here. One thing that also will be weighing on the grain complex is the dollar index. It's trading up about 0.5 point after we didn't see any news or any indications of QE3 come out of the FOMC meeting, which wrapped up yesterday. That certainly added a bid under the dollar here. In addition to that, in the overnight session, it sounds like we did have some rains in some key growing states in the Western Corn Belt, specifically central Iowa. So that should be weighing on the specifically that corn market here a little bit in general. But we kind of have some interesting technical landscape shaping up here. What's going on in corn right now?
Yeah, well, right now, I mean, for corn, we're trading down a little bit, and we're heading to the top side of the range. But let's take a look at beans, because that's really what I think is quite interesting. Yeah. If you look at beans for the July contract, take a look at this level. 1450, I think, is a very key level here. We had a previous trend line support level that acted as resistance here last week or week and a half ago, and then we traded down. Now we're back up there. Now we're retesting that level. It is clearly a resistance level. We've touched on it a couple times. We traded over 1450 earlier this morning. I think there's a good chance that we're going to push higher, and we're going to make a run at that $15 mark. But if we don't close over that, it could act as resistance again. We could trade around this area, kind of pressing up against it before we break out or break to the downside. So just be wary here. This is a key level, and the rest of the trading day will definitely define here where we go in the next week. If you take a look at the 60-minute chart, we had a huge rally. You guys, I'm sure you remembered it. We were up 50 something on the day for beans here a couple days ago, and then we started trading in a range yesterday. Well, it was a nice pennant here, and this morning we've broken out, and so we're cupping highs. I think if we get over that 1450, it makes way for a pretty rapid move higher.
Yeah, certainly. We'll have to keep an eye on that. It looks like beans, it really is retesting highs of the range. Also on that new crop contract here. If you take a look here at the November delivery soybean chart, you can see here that we're retesting $14 a bushel here. Back in May, I remember talking to you, Cody, after that May report came out. It was quite a bullish report for soybeans. We traded higher that day, and then kind of the bottom fell out of that market there for a little bit. You and I were both expecting soybeans to retest 14. It seems like kind of the macro scenario kind of derailed that over the short term there. We had those Greek elections last weekend here. We had a lot of fund money moving out of the soybean complex. It looks like that's changed a little bit looking at last week's Commitment of Traders report, and now we're kind of looking like we're poised to retest 14 here. It'll be interesting to keep an eye on that as the trade day carries on here. Right now we have the November contract trading down 6 to 13.89 1/4. Kind of an interesting spread trading in the soybean market right now, Cody. We see about a 10-cent spread developing between old crop and new crop. What's kind of what do you think's driving that here this morning?
Well, like we've been talking about, I think it has to do with the charting environment here.
Right.
If you take a look at July beans, it looks like we're breaking out. We have almost a 50-cent move here that we could have, and we're at the bottom side, and if you look at the 60-minute chart, we're breaking out, so we're moving higher. If you look at November beans, this is the daily chart. We're coming up against some serious resistance, and it's not just resistance that we've tried. This is the 4th time we've gotten up there here in the last couple of months. But if you look back till I think it's September 2011,
right.
We were up here at $14. So the point is that this is not an easy level to get past. It's not just any old level. This is huge,
right.
And I think it's offering a bit of selling resistance here this morning. Whereas July soybeans really has a lot of upside potential.
Right, certainly. Well, it's going to be interesting to see how this plays out today. If you have to go out and work in the fields here, follow us on Twitter at GrainTV is where you can find us. We'll be tweeting throughout the day as the markets trade here. I think that kind of wraps up our show here for Thursday morning on GrainTV. Thanks a lot for joining us. Have a great rest of your day.